Hi there, I'm Matthew Walker. Thanks for clicking on this video. I was just thinking to myself about something that happened years ago, and I thought it'd be quite funny to upload and share. And it's about Edinburgh Dungeons. Now, if you don't know what Edinburgh Dungeons are, let me read this. Edinburgh Dungeons is an underground tourist attraction in Edinburgh city centre. It uses live actor shows and interactive rides to show various historic events from Scottish history in a fun, scary style. Okay, so I was up in Scotland and I was in Edinburgh with my friends, and we were just having a few beers, having a bit of a trip one time, and we thought, after a few beers, we thought, oh, it would be a great idea if we go to Edinburgh Dungeons. And I was like, absolutely, live actors talking about history whilst I'm tipsy. This is a recipe for content, if anything, but also disaster. So, if you haven't been to one of these places before, it's loads of different rooms in a sequence, and actors sort of take you from room to room, telling you a story and filling in the history. For example, like Guy Fawkes, they'll talk through how that came about and sort of show rides in the sewers of London's Parliament to sort of give the effect of the story, and they do that with loads of different situations. So I've had a few beers, we're in there, we've paid for our tickets, we start. About halfway through or something like that, I start needing the toilet, and when I need the toilet I start panicking about needing the toilet. So if I feel like the toilet, it's like the home run. I'm going to the toilet at some point, and it started. The countdown has started. That's how it feels. And so I started in the toilet, and we're like moving from room to room, like the walking bit. The sort of actors are shuffling us through this little bit, and I lean into this actor who's dressed up as like a Scottish housewife or something, and I say, "Oh, sorry to interrupt you. I know you're doing your thing right now. But is there any way I can just nip out to the toilet and then pop back in? I'm really desperate." And in character, she answers me and says, "Ah, for you need to urinate. Back in these times, there were not many options to hygienically urinate. Many people would urinate in the streets, which led to illnesses and diseases." And I was like, yeah. No, but seriously, I actually need to go for a piss, so if you can just, like, cut this shit for a second and just let me out and let me in, that'll be great. And she continues the act again. "For many people would have liked a different situation at the time, but it was not for them, and only later in the future did the technologies arrive to allow such flexible acts of urination." And the first part, I'm like, wow, she's sticking to the act. She's sticking to the act now. So I sort of backed off and said, alright, okay, fine, I'll try to hold it. In the next room, I lean over to her again, and I say, "Look, I know you're doing your thing, and I appreciate it, and it's really good. It's actually pretty impressive how you stayed in character. But can you cut the shit, because I need it. I'm about to piss myself, and I probably need to piss." And she leans in, and she goes, "Look, mate, it's about fucking 5 minutes left. It's the last room. If you just hold out, you'll be sorted in a minute." And then cuts back into a character and goes, "Let's head on to the next room." By the way, at this point, my friends don't know what's happening, because I don't want them to know that I'm needing the toilet, and ideally, I just want to be able to slip out without them knowing, and then come back in, and they're like, "Oh, where have you been?" I was like, "Oh, I snipped the toilet." I don't want it to be a big deal. I don't want them to have to stop the whole thing, because that's the worry, really. That then she goes, "Alright, cut it, right, this guy needs a toilet, we'll just pause now, he goes for a piss, and then he'll come back, and then we'll begin." That's like the worst nightmare, isn't it? So then she goes, like, literally, next room, I'm going to finish. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's not bad. So we get into the next room, and I see, and the last room is a fucking roller coaster. One of those hydraulic-driven rides that goes... You sit in it, and it just, like, pushes you up fast down, drops you down, like you're all sat in a big line. And I look at her and I go, "I can't go on that. I can't go on that now, I'll piss myself." "Some people must push themselves at times in their life when it may be scary." And I go, "Look, there's no fucking way I can get on that now. Just let me out." And she goes, "Right, fucking get..." And she basically just pushes me through this door without my friend seeing. She goes, "Right, let's fucking shit her through there, mate. Get through there, bang." My mate's going on the ride. And And I'm through this door and I go for a wee, and I'm just waiting, sort of in this little dark room, and I can hear this ride going. And my friends are going, where's my John? Where's usually gone? Where's mine? And then that ride ends, and they come into the room that I'm in, and I'm just sort of in there already, and then my friends are like, where the fuck are you gone? What happened? And I was like, mate, you don't even know what's been going on for the last 5 minutes. I've been like in this weird world trying to communicate with an actor so I can go to the toilet, but she was responding in actor form and not letting me go to the toilet. But I must say, the commitment that the actors have at Edinburgh Dungeons should be applauded. And, you know, I'm angry that I sort of needed a wee and it was awkward for me, but actually I thought it was amazing. So props to Edinburgh Dungeons for the commitment that the actors have. And actually, I'm going to give a final shout out here to York Dungeons while I'm repping the dungeon game right now. When I was a kid and I went to York Dungeons, same type of thing. We're in the middle of it, but the fire alarm went off, and, you know, all the kids like, oh, and the actors stayed in character and led everyone out safely. And we all go outside, and they remained in character outside. And these actors were from, like, some time in history, and they pretended to be in character still. So when they saw a car, they went, what is this madness? What is this, a metal-armoured transport horse-like vehicle? And then, like, a plane flew over, and he was like, what is going on? A bird in the sky! And at that time, I remember thinking, I knew they were acting, and I knew, obviously, they weren't from a different time. But even then I thought, these guys are doing a good job. These guys are doing a good job. So the moral of the story is, stay in character as long as you can. Never break the method acting, yeah? Always stay in character, yeah? But anyway, that is the story that I wanted to say today. I know I've pretty much just rambled on. One thing I'm trying to do is get better at just being able to talk and say stories that make sense and are coherent as I'm speaking. So hopefully you get something out of this, and I feel like I've got something out of it because I've had a bit of a practice at speaking without editing, just on a topic that I am interested in. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you are having a lovely day, and peace